Oh, Rick, how was that?
It was good.
He sounded good.
He did?
Yeah, he did. Sounded
Gave me
really
his newest CD.
He's killing it in Europe. How about that?
That's what he was saying.
Oh, he is? I didn't know that. Yeah, he went to go, I guess for years, he's gone to this one Italian blues festival in the summer, and he ended up staying almost till Christmas, getting one gig right after the other all over.
Still doing the tattoo tour though.
Yeah, he's playing like Missouri today. I saw his Facebook. Yeah, I think he's in Missouri today.
Yeah, he was killing. He got a good crowd too. A bunch of people came to see him.
Yeah, he was like, "Don't worry, I got fucking." Yeah, he did. He knew a lot of them too, because when they walked in, he'd be like, "Hey," and like said their name out loud. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." Cody's got a friend, Marty, that's obsessed with movies.
Oh, yeah?
And he likes that movie, The Outsiders.
Oh, yeah.
And he just bought the house where they filmed it at to make it like a bed and breakfast.
Where is it?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Yeah, way out there. Which means
That's
it
an
was
old
very
one.
inexpensive. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a nice Irish Catholic boy from the suburbs of Boston. And, you know, when I was a teenager, tattooing was illegal in Massachusetts. And we would go to Rhode Island or New Hampshire to get tattooed. First time I walked into a shop, it was like an epiphany, I guess. I knew what I needed to do.
Because he said, sorry to hear David Armstrong, he died last year. You said you went to school with him and Nan.
Yeah.
Where was that, like high school or?
It was hard to find somebody to teach you, you know, and it was an hour and a half away to teach you tattooing. So I fucked around and went to art school for a few months, and, you know, there I met Nan and David, and they were in the process of moving to New York. And in the meantime, one of the guys who's like the leader of our little greaser gang, he got some tattoo equipment, Mark Hurley, and he learned from a guy in Florida, Cool Hand Luke, and Mark came back and gave me the little quick apprenticeship, and I went to town on tattooing him. And those are the pictures that Nan took of me tattooing Mark.
And then you stayed like East Coast for a while?
Yeah, and then so I worked on out of the motorcycle clubhouses in New England for a year or two. I'd go back and forth to New York, then I moved to New York full time, and then I moved out to California. This is where every time I saw a really good tattoo on these motorcycle club guys, you know, they come from different chapters, and every time I saw something that was really, the outline was nice, and the color was nice, and the shading was nice, and it seemed like it was always from Long Beach, California. So I had it in my mind, that's where I wanted to go.
Yeah, and then tell me a little bit about the history of the shops you've had around here.
Yeah, the first place I got to Long Beach, and I got a job within the first couple of days, and I worked with Rick Walters down there. And I was living in the back of the tattoo shop, and I'd go up and watch Rick at the other tattoo shop when he was working, when I wasn't. And Rick was tattooing this kid, and the tattoo was $37.50, I remember, with a little Harley design. And it was like 95% finished. And the kid tells Rick, hey, I gotta go throw up, I don't feel good. So Rick's like, go ahead. And, you know, I had a little premonition something hinky was going on, so I go out and watch him, and he's jumping in the car trying to leave without paying Rick. So I'm like, yo, Rick, these kids are trying to run on you. So Rick goes right out there, pulls his pistol out, shoots, bam, shoots the windshield out. And then they try to kind of run him over, and his gun jams, and he, you know, takes one out of the chamber like that, and then empties the clip into this car. Shot it 6 or 7 times. And I'm like, Jesus, I'm in the Wild West over here. They weren't doing this in the greater Boston area. But yeah, tattooing was a much wilder thing then.
I thought Boston had quite a reputation.
It was tough, but it wasn't wild. You know, crime back there was more organized, whatever. It's not so willy-nilly. Style stuff. And, you know, I can remember the first time I saw it, you know, I flipped my wig. It's like the way I drew, not the way I tattooed. You know, tattoos used to have that sturdy, big outline and simple shading and color. But when I drew, it was always real detailed and black and gray. So when I saw tattoos that looked like that, that's what I needed to learn. And my old-timer boss wasn't really of that style, but he gave me a little bit. But the shrine of that style was in East LA, Good Time Charlie's, and I'd start going over there, and then I was lucky enough to go to work there after the Pike, and that was a fun place, and wild in a different way, you know, there'd be low riding, cruising, and somehow the tattoo shop was like a neutral zone for the East LA gangs. There would be 2 rival gangs would be in the shop, and they wouldn't be stabbing each other or shooting each other. They respected that spot. Yeah, I'm really grateful I got to work at both Long Beach, which was like kind of the epitome of the old school, and then Good Time Charlie's in East LA, that was the, you know, the beginning of the next wave of tattooing that people are still doing now, the black and gray stuff. I was lucky to be there on the ground floor of that shit. I'm one of the few guys that had a little bit of both in it.
Because now you've got quite a celebrity-like following, you've got a big, you know, base. I mean, how'd that just build up naturally?
I think, you know, like a lot of it goes back to Mickey Rourke. You know, he was my friend and we hung out in the 80s, and his, you know, career was going really well, and I think he was like the first celebrity that had like multiple tattoos, and not just that, he wore them well, you know. I think he was the first like famous person, and I think he influenced, you know, a lot of people that get tattooed in and out of the business.
And then so one introduces the other, I guess.
Yeah, it came like that, and I guess I didn't have a big mouth, and I wouldn't, you know, sell their stories to the Inquirer or anything. So I think that was one of the reasons too. This shop that we're in, the Shamrock Social Club, I was gonna sign the lease on September 11th, and that bomb stuff happened, so the landlord called me and we put it off a day and signed it on the 12th, but you know, we started off with a bang over here, that's for sure. And this building, and I knew it was Bing Crosby's, singer built it for his publishing in the 30s. And kind of, once I was in here, got to know more and more of the stories. And Bing built it here because it was on the strip, and he liked hanging out with the black jazz musicians. I think Louis Armstrong was like his best friend. And he had an apartment upstairs, and I guess they would go and smoke pot on this little balcony and look over downtown LA. And like it was, you know, like this is where the elite and the underworld meet. That's a motto I got from an English tattooer from the teens or something. George Burchett, who did fine line tattoos in London then, and that was a time when it was kind of socially acceptable with the aristocracy. I think Winston Churchill's mother had got tattooed there. But yeah, I think that's when I like it the most, when there's, you know, a mix of people like that, when there's a, you know, Gordo from Maravilla in East LA, and a, you know, a up-and-coming actress and a aging singer guy, or, you know, it's just a mix. It's nice. It gives it life.
With Lana Del Rey's video, how did you come to be asked to do that?
You know, I found out, you know, the hard way that when I do things that weren't like related to the tattoo shop, that didn't come from here, then they never seem to work out. But Lana's a nice kid that come down and got tattooed, and she asked me to be in her video. When stuff, you know, when it happens like that through the tattoo shop and tattooing, it seems to work out better than when it comes out of left field.
And how did you come to be in Black Mass?
Well, Johnny's an old friend of mine, and, you know, when he, you know, found out he was doing a movie about Boston hoodlums or whatever, I think, you know, he thought of me. So Black Mass was great to, you know, get paid to hang out in Boston and see my sisters and everything like that. It was the longest chunk of time I had been in Boston since I moved out here. But yeah, there's something about LA and those old-timey movie star stories and Mickey Cohen stories on the Sunset Strip. I love that shit.
Would you want to be in a film again? Do you like that?
Yeah, it's fun to do something different, you know. Next year is 40 years of tattooing full time, so yeah, it's cool to do something different. I could never give this up, but it'd be fun to do a little bit every year.
So you've done a lot of tattoos on Johnny?
Yeah, I've known him since, you know, before he moved here. I tattooed him in Long Beach, an Indian head on him. And yeah, we've been kind of friends ever since. His girlfriend at the time that became his wife was an old friend of mine from New York, and she was one of the first. I tattooed her in the Chelsea Hotel.
So you did the Indian head.
When television used to go off at like 2 o'clock in the morning, there was a test pattern, these like circular design, and in the center was an Indian's head for whatever reason. And Johnny, you know, was like, yeah, I want an Indian's head that looked like that. I knew exactly what he was talking about. Yeah, you do. You look like you got easy skin to tattoo.
Oh yeah?
What's this faded heart thing?
I got rid of it.
That was laser beam?
Huh?
That was lasered?
Yeah. It needs another go though.
I like that little cross. That's kind of hood. I like that.
What about my 3?
That's cool too. That's kind of gangster.
Actually, the best one though.
Oh, yeah. for them secret ones with the mojo. Got some magic, those kind. Give him my sympathies.
Is the journey, the travel.